Bismillahir Rahmaanir Raheem. Can you explain what you mean when you say that Bismillahir Rahmaanir Raheem contains 1,000 names of Allah? And how is that so?
How can it contain the 1,000 names of Allah? It can. Because under Rahman and Rahim, these are two major names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All other sifats, all other asma comes. Also the Ismul Azam, it also comes. It's in there. So this is knowledge that you cannot find so much in books. Like I said before, you can say Bismillahir Rahmaanir Raheem. A kafir can say Bismillahir Rahmaanir Raheem, isn't it? A munafiq can say Bismillahir Rahmaanir Raheem. A believer says Bismillahir Rahmaanir Raheem. Is there a difference? Completely. What if it is an awliya Allah who says Bismillahir Rahmaanir Raheem? What if it's a Nabi that says Bismillahir Rahmaanir Raheem? What if it's the Holy Prophet ﷺ who says Bismillahir Rahmaanir Raheem? What if the angels, they say Bismillahir Rahmaanir Raheem? What if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself says Bismillahir Rahmaanir Raheem? No secrets in Islam? Just with Bismillahir Rahmaanir Raheem. There's so much, the knowledge all comes from that, isn't it? From Bismillah. We can go into this, but yes, from Ba, from the dot of the Ba. Now, yeah. So now it depends on who says it. It's like that. Sit down a little bit. Sit down. Yeah, that's good. It's like that. This is part of a knowledge that more faith that you have. How are you going to get more faith? More submission. How are you going to get more submission? If you submit to someone, you're going to get submission. Isn't Islam called submission? Isn't the whole problem why shaitan hates us is because he refused to put his forehead down to make sajda to Adam alayhi salam? That action of making sajda is not a physical, and he knows it. If it's just a physical action, he has no problem with it. But now he has to acknowledge that that one is higher than him. He is representing Allah. He is going to occupy that maqam al-mahmud. So he says, I don't want to submit to him. I submit only to you. Don't we hear that from Wahhabis saying? Yes. Don't say Ya Rasulullah, say Ya Allah. Oh, don't even say Ya Allah. They submit only to Allah. They say, put the Muhammad Rasulullah aside. You cannot. Now he's celebrating the month of the Prophet ﷺ. Ahli Tariqat gives you more faith, gives you more reason to submit. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, if it were not for you, if it were not for you, I would not have created the universes. Who is he addressing? To his angels, to us, to the Holy Prophet ﷺ. Now you enter into a little bit of the reality of the Prophet ﷺ. Now, to people who knows him, this is not a secret. People who don't know him, who don't want to know him, it looks like it's hidden language. You have a good friend, you have a best friend. Eh? He knows everything about you. The person who doesn't know anything about you would think that the person who knows something about you, he has secrets. But it's not a matter of whether you're going to give that knowledge or not. It's a matter of how near, how far you are. Isn't it? Isn't the whole aim for us to come closer to Allah? How are we going to come closer to Allah if we don't come to the Holy Prophet ﷺ? So, inshallah, it will be easy for us. Let's stop there before it gets a little bit too deep. But, yes, Bismillahir Rahmaanir Raheem. In our way, we read, you have to recite it 1,000 times a day. But we don't, I'm saying this also, but I'm not going to just say this because we don't like to mention these things, because once we say it, it becomes an obligation for people to do it. So I'm saying this is not for us. Because if you know and you don't do, Something is going to happen to you. Put it down, sit over there. Don't sit like Buddha in front of me, blocking other people. Million times I'm saying. Sleeping. You read sleeping. Sleeping. So yes, Bismillahir Rahmaanir Raheem. If you have that faith, yes, like what we said earlier, the waters can be split and you can make the Miraj. If you don't have this faith, you can say 1 billion times a day. It's not going to do anything to you. How are you going to have this? Be with the ones who have this faith. Then again, you ask yourself, why do I want this faith? For what reason? Then you'll come to a conclusion, more and more, I'm a servant. I don't need to know so many things too. I'm a servant to Allah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.